Time to shift gears here, talk about the pandemic. We are joined by Dr. Alex Jahangir, the chair of Metro's Coronavirus Task Force. Doctor, thanks for being with us. Doctor, researchers are looking to learn anything they can about the potential vaccine everyone's talking about right now. Where are we in the process of actually getting one out to the public?
You know, we are in such an amazing place given how quickly we have developed vaccines for this virus. We are about to start a phase 3 clinical trial on the vaccines. And let me put that in perspective. So when a vaccine is formed, first thing is a phase 1 trial where you put the vaccine in about a few hundred people to make sure that there's not any weird side effects. Then you go into a phase 2 where you put in about 1,000 people, again, to figure out the right dosage and to find out what's effective. Those typically take 3 years to reach the point where you're into a phase 3. We are now 4 months into this virus, and we're starting a phase 3 in the United States. And what that means is 30,000 people are going to receive either the vaccine or placebo, and to see, is this really effective? And Nashville is going to be one of these cities, in a weird way, because of our high numbers, that will receive, have people participate in the phase 3 clinical trial. And that may start as early as this month or early next month. I would recommend anyone that's interested to check out the NIH website at coronaviruspreventionnetwork.org. Again, coronaviruspreventionnetwork.org. It's very long. And that's where they can get information about it. But people we want people to enroll if they're interested. And that's where we're at. So in a weird way, we may be able to have success by early 21 in getting a vaccine, which is so much faster than many typical vaccines.
Well, your positivity is certainly welcome tonight, that's for sure. Here's a viewer question. It's from Sarah in East Nashville. Wants to know about herd immunity. How does that really work? How do we achieve herd immunity?
So the way herd immunity works is when a lot of people in the community either have had the vaccine, have the antibodies, or or have had the virus and get the antibodies, or get the vaccine and get the antibodies, then there's no more vector for the virus to travel through. I'll give you an example. Back in measles, 94% of a community had to have measles to not be able to transmit measles. A virus like coronavirus, the theory is that 70% of the society has to have the virus to minimize the spread from somebody who doesn't have the vaccine. The problem is, right now in the United States, only 1% of Americans have gotten this virus. So the idea of just give it a few months, everyone's going to get the virus. First of all, it's irresponsible because I think the mortality and the long-term side effects of this virus are not something to play with. But secondly, it would take a long time. If think about how worried we are about this virus right now, and only 1% of America has received it. So we need to wait for a vaccine. I think that's the best way to approach this, but we'll see.
All right, speaking of vaccine, doctor, so what happens if not enough people agree to get a vaccine once one becomes available?
Well, I think then you don't get the herd immunity, and we have all the problems we have right now. I mean, that's a problem that happens with the flu vaccine. Some people don't get it, and we have really bad flu years sometimes. That's a problem that happens with other vaccines. That's why I think the language around not getting vaccines really needs to be evaluated, and I think vaccines are really probably the best way to save us from a lot of bad infections.
And finally tonight, do we run the risk of people who do get the vaccine actually getting the virus?
Well, typically no. I mean, I hate to make any presumptions about the coronavirus vaccine. I suspect it's probably like most other vaccines in today's world, which these are either dead virus or they're genetically made to look like the virus so your body responds. So I would say almost 0% chance. For example, the flu shot, you can't get the flu from getting the flu shot. I suspect this virus, which is essentially similar to the flu shot, will also be one that's inert or one that you can't get any infection from.
Dr. Alex Jahangir, chair of Metro's Coronavirus Task Force, thanks again for joining us. We appreciate your expertise.